Hello, everyone. Welcome to Villa de Cocaina. So my name is Alison. I am currently at CSULB getting my master's in human experience and design interactions. Got my undergrad last May in industrial design.
And I'm Matt Bashford. I study BSc product design at Brunel University, which is in London, and I'm an intern at Storyland Studios.
So getting into our experience, it is an interactive, immersive dining experience for adults 21 plus seeking a night of danger, deception, discovery, and drugs.
So the premise of our attraction is that Villa de Cocaina used to be the go-to destination for the cocaine cowboys to play during the 80s. But after a series of drug busts, the island lay vacant for years, until now. In an effort to clean up the island's tainted image, the new owner has invited you to an ostentatious dinner party at the villa. Entangled in a greater scheme, guests are tasked with deceiving and manipulating their hosts to uncover the truth behind the facade of the island.
So just to give you a brief overview of our experience, the entire thing would last about 3 hours, and it will be 5 courses of fine Cuban dining featuring 5 unique cocktails that come from the island. You'll be starting on the mainland and taking a boat ride to and from this island. And with the roadmap of how things play out, there are alternating experiences as you go through more than once. Will you walk free or will you end up in prison?
So thinking about why we've done this, we've seen a real trend recently in immersive dining and theatre experiences. They've really boomed in popularity, especially amongst millennials, couples, and friend groups. It's an opportunity for a highly profitable business that attracts both locals and tourists because it's an exciting new alternative to other nightlife events.
As for our operations, per performance, we're looking at charging around $250 per guest. There will be pods of 4 that you would sign up with, and there's a total of 8 groups that can go through, 32 guests total per performance for a total of $8K income. And for per day, the entire total would be $24K, 96 guests in total, with showtimes starting at 4, 6, and 7:30 to space out timing.
This is a mood board to illustrate some of the vibe of our attraction. So this is our experience timeline. Do you want to take this, Alison?
So we're just looking at highlighted visual starting on the mainland here on the left side. You would start with a check-in, end up going through a DEA interrogation room to a boat ride, which takes you to the villa. You are able to explore this lime green block here, which is where you have welcome drinks, hors d'oeuvres, and that is then leading into soup, salad, and entrees, and the experience splits off from there depending at where you are at point total wise. Higher point totals go off towards VIP lounge. Lower scoring points end up going towards the kitchen here. Ultimately, we will converge again during a DEA raid, go on a boat ride debrief, and the end of our experience will wrap up with a ceremony as well as some desserts. So let's go inside.
Don't worry. We'll go over this again. So looking at the game mechanic overall, points are accumulated by guests by discreetly taking photos of evidence. Each team has a maximum of 30 photos that they can take. So guests are allowed to freely explore the rooms per meal course, where they're searching and interacting with characters to lead to evidence that gives them points. Higher and lower scoring groups diverge at multiple points during the experience, and so this allows for many possible overall storylines depending on their performance.
This is just an illustration of the flow chart itself. As we mentioned, we'll be going through that with some visuals as well. We can come back to it later. And
so, do you want to go for this?
Well, you were talking about game mechanics. I'll let you go.
Okay, sure. So yeah, points are divided into 3 tiers based on how incriminating that evidence is. We have low, mid, and high. Low tier evidence, all groups can photograph this evidence one time. Mid tier, once a photograph is taken, a time limit is placed on the evidence before it becomes active again. And high tier, 1 group per area, per cycle, can photograph this evidence. The cameras are connected to a central system which can recognize which clues have which point values.
So with character interactions here, everything is driven by actors. Guests are the ones interacting with it. They are trying to find something incriminating, try and pull out information from them. They're tasked with trying to spike a character's drink at some point, ultimately leading to their arrest, hopefully, or the guest's arrest, alternately. So everyone is communicating through an earpiece as well, where they can receive some guidance. And there will be an undercover agent or another actor there that can help throughout the experience that is deemed safe.
So these are a few of our characters. We'll start with the Cocaine Queen. She's not to be messed with. She's the leader of the gang, and she led the renovation efforts at the villa. She flaunts her lavish lifestyle, and she always has her wits about her. You know, she's had enough close calls with the feds already. Next, we have Skipper Diaz, who is a scummy boat skipper and a low-level gangster who's involved in the crime ring, who usually brags about his achievements and flaunts weapons. Next, we have Bodyguard, who is Benita, the Cocaine Queen's right-hand muscle. They quietly sit in the background and rarely talk, unless it involves intimidating anyone who crosses the Queen. We have servers as well, and 2 DEA agents, who one of them is undercover and the other one commutes with your team remotely via an earpiece.
So this is just going through the experience now, step by step, visually. At our pre-arrival, this is when you are signing up for the experience. You would do through the website, you're receiving an invitation to this dinner party. At this point, you are able to select your food options, which also include vegan and gluten-free. And you're signing a waiver acknowledging that anything that you're given as far as drugs aren't real, and you're not going to be put in any sort of real danger throughout the night.
So moving on to arrival. You start your experience at a boat dock where a DEA agent will approach you as you go to check in for your boat ride to the island. They say, "We know you're involved with the gang. Don't pretend like you don't know that." And you're taken to a small building nearby and led inside.
Inside here is the interrogation room. We know that you're involved with this ring somehow, even if you don't. This is where you're handed your information packet that has your earpiece, a notepad, a UV flashlight to shine over the items for evidence, as well as your AR camera glasses. And we're going to give you a quick demonstration on how those work. Here you have glasses put on. There's 3 different options here. You can go ahead and press on the screen, and it's giving you some information. You know, if you're a little bit lost throughout the experience, click and close, put the glasses back on, observing your space. You can see it highlights some information. Take a picture of the evidence here. Screen turns back on. And this is where you'd be able to view total points and other information along the way. Cool.
And we have it again. Okay, so after a short wait of around 10 to 15 minutes to review your evidence, a loud speedboat approaches the dock and the DEA agents alert guests via their earpieces to hide their equipment. Diaz, a sleazy boat skipper who we met earlier, approaches your group with overconfidence and immediately offers you all a Cuba Libre cocktail and some nondescript pills.
Now that we are on the island, we are entering into the Grand Foyer. Here we have a welcome drink inspired by Hotel Nacional. You're introduced to the Cocaine Queen and enabled to explore the area surrounding. Here
Now
we are also
on.
having hors d'oeuvres. Yes, sorry.
Okay, so during this portion of the experience, guests are free to explore these rooms connected to the foyer, which are light green on the map. During this time, they can talk to all of the characters involved. A lot of them are inside the foyer in the living room. They can take a peek at everything and try and find as much evidence as possible.
There's also a hidden room attached to this space for guests to have a little bit more exploration. If they come back a second time, it might be something they didn't come across the first time. Features a variety of monitors, I guess, watching you throughout the experience.
Now we move on to our soup and salad course. This happens in the dining room. So staff call the guests into the dining room from the previous area. You can see it in dark green in the map. So this begins the main event of the night, the actual dinner party. So during this course, the guests may find clues under their placemat, dropped on the floor, or even inside their food. One guest per group will find a clue with their meal. So this could be a name inscribed on their plate, a number written in vinaigrette. It's completely random who's going to get this and what exactly it's going to be, but it could well lead to something.
Here we also have the entree, and our big show moment is the diverging experience of once you've racked up a certain number of points, the higher end up going with the gang. You are seen as helpful, friendly. However, if you are deemed on the lower end of points, you are a rat, go through another experience. So we'll go down those rabbit holes right now.
So starting with low scoring guests, this is half of the overall group. They are forcibly shoved into the kitchen. The pristine cabinets are splattered with bloodstains. On the counter, there is a chef hacking away at parts of a body. Gang members are taunting guests that this is what happens to rats. They are handed bloody rat cocktails. You can guess what these are made of.
I'll let you continue this since it's
Okay, sure. So after being tormented with these gruesomely delicious cocktails, the groups are shoved into a secret bunker room. An alarm sound immediately after the door is shut. The guests are locked in and an ominous 15-minute countdown clock begins. So this is an escape room style area with some low scoring clues, but the main objective is to find a way out. There are weapons littered around the room, which suggests that something is going on here. If they manage to escape, then the group gets an extra 100 points. But if they don't get those points, the DEA will come in and raid the room and get you out. So at this point, all of the guests and actors are handcuffed because the DEA don't know who to trust at this point. You need to prove that you've collected enough evidence to go free. You have to hand in your equipment to the DEA agents and go towards the island dock. And now we'll move on to the high scoring guests.
So the higher end experience, you are welcomed into the VIP lounge. You're served some more cocktails, and through your earpiece, you're given the task of trying to drug the, gang itself. They're very comfortable with you, and they are also going to show you another space that they're quite proud of, which is their drug lab. So again, entered into this space, incriminating evidence, racking up points. And as Matt had mentioned, we had the DEA raid, which is where the experiences converge once again.
So now we move on to debriefing. So at the Villa's boat dock, guests are loaded onto a DEA boat, which brings them back to the shore. Here they hand in their equipment to prove if they have collected sufficient evidence or not. The agents provide a debriefing of the gang's involvement in drug-related crimes during this boat ride. And then we move on to dessert.
So dessert is served at our final rest station, again, where our experience started. In this particular room, we are given our final ceremony. If you've racked up enough points, you've helped bring down the gang, then you are awarded a hotshot DEA cop badge. However, on the alternative, if you were not a winner, you are placed behind bars to enjoy your dessert. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you. Judges, any clarification questions?
No clarification questions. I liked how you all did your presentation in terms of the numbers of people and like the timing of your meals and all of that. That was well spelled out, well thought through.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great. Well, we'll give the judges just a minute or two to go ahead and make sure that they get their comments down, and then we'll move on. Judges, again, if you could please just leave a comment in the chat or a thumbs up when you're ready so we can continue.